Balance. Another important idea is the idea of pressing part of your body against something else. In this case, let's press down against the ground. So next we'll move into a variation of side plank. So with your hand on the floor, feel your bottom leg, slowly lift your hips. Now notice how your bottom leg feels, maybe your outer thigh, maybe your inner thigh. Notice the knee, how does it feel against the floor? Slowly lower. And then try to relax and notice a change in sensation. So ideally what you notice is that in order for the hips to lift, this leg, this knee, the outside of the shin presses down. And so instead of just lifting the hips off of the floor, focus instead on pressing down through the outside of this leg. So press down so that this hip lifts. Lower down and then relax. So I'm focusing about here. You could try pressing down through maybe the outside. You may find your calf will activate. You could press down like that. Most important thing is create a downward force somewhere in this part of the leg. Create a downward force so that your hips lift. Then lower down and then relax. Create a downward force, lift. And notice this leg is lifted so I can focus on using this leg. Lower and then relax. Now in Astavakrasana, the top leg is on top of one arm. So let's try using the top leg. So with the bottom leg forward, same thing. Press your top knee into the floor so your hips lift. Notice the sensation in your leg. Notice the activation, and perhaps more importantly, notice the sensation of the inside of the knee pressing into the floor. And if I'm assuming you're using a yoga mat. If your knee's uncomfortable, double it over. Use a towel under your knee so it's a little bit more comfortable. So press your knee down, lift your hips, and then relax. Press your knee down, lift your hips, and then relax. Now, in Astavakrasana, you're pressing your arm against your inner thigh. So that's something you could practice, is press your arm against your inner thigh and actively resist with your inner thigh. So press your thigh inwards, your arm outwards, so they're working against each other. And you may find it a little bit uncomfortable on this leg. So what you could try doing is squeezing the inner thigh so it's a little bit more comfortable. Also, if you're pressing with the elbow, that's going to be a lot more uncomfortable than if you press with the upper arm like so. And you can try different variations. You can try it closer to the knee, maybe closer to the middle of the thigh or the midsection. And you may be, in the actual pose, you may be limited by your geometry and what you can use, but just practice. Notice that you can press your arm in different places, and in the actual pose, you may have the option of changing the position, particularly if you have discomfort in the thigh, whichever thigh you're using, particularly if you have discomfort in the upper thigh. Then of course try it on the other side. And there may be differences. You may find your arm is weaker pushing back. You may find your leg is weaker pushing back. So if that's the case, use your good side as a reference. Notice the sensations that make it feel stronger. Then try and duplicate that on the good side. And if you haven't got any problems, that's good. Just focus on, rather than suddenly pressing, try to slowly and smoothly press and activate. You make an adjustments in your arm position if you like, and then relax. For the next exercise, have your fingers pointing forward, shoulder width apart. With your inner thigh, press it against your